Hello, friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's podcast, the PvP training podcast, where I had the immense pleasure, the great honor of receiving one of the best duelists in the game at the moment, Skip to My Nash, an ex Dark Souls 3 tournament winner, tryhard. He hosts a lot of fight clubs on his stream. I would definitely recommend you guys check out his Twitch. All the links will be in the description below. The reason why I wanted to have Nash in the podcast was because he's very good, but he's also able to just analyze very well what he's doing wrong and what other people's are doing wrong in order to make them better players. So this conversation is gonna go around how to be better at PvP, of course, but we also drifted apart talking about various other subjects such as, real life events, how he perceives streaming and making YouTube content, the life of a content creator, and just like how excited he is for the game, the future about the games. There's like a lot of subjects we went through over the podcast. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. This is the podcast, the PvP training podcast with Skip to My Nash. Welcome, Nash. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, Valentin.
Yeah, I'm super happy to.
Pleasure is mine.
The pleasure is yours. I'm just so happy to be able to talk with very good player first, and also just people playing games and taking them seriously, because in my environment I have no friend who are really into gaming seriously. They play like Fortnite, or they play the last Pokemon game, but they never go much deeper than that.
Yeah, well, I want to clarify something. Like, seriously, what you call seriously is like, I want to play the best in my abilities, but that doesn't mean like I'm a professional or whatever player in those games. But yeah, I like to play them to the best of my abilities. Let's say that I prefer that.
Yeah, that's what I mean by seriously. It's not necessarily that it's your job or that you're a pro player, but it's just that you're conscious about your decision making in the game, and you want to improve as a player in the way that you will think about the game even when you're not playing it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so just go ahead.
No. Okay. Yeah, you said it perfectly.
And
on the same page.
Yeah, so today we have Nash, Skip to My Nash. So can you? I'm just gonna say the reason why I wanted to talk with you. So the number one reason is because I've heard about you, and the first time I heard your voice was when G9 was streaming the network test. You remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I
remember this day.
I made a little comment, little cheeky comment saying Nash is very condescendant, and G9 read it in French.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was. Because you were joking about something, and I wanted to. I'm always trying to make G9 speak French, but he never does it. And then I remember G9 mentioning you very often, actually, like when he was talking about top players. During his stream, he's used to stream Invasion, Dark Souls 3, in the Ring City and Gang City, and very often your name would come by, but there was nothing on YouTube or even Twitch at the time about you, so it was very mysterious. Everything was very mysterious. And then I discovered that you started to stream some fight club of Elden Ring on Twitch, and I joined your fight club, and I was so happy to be able to fight real good players, not to be ganged by 3 people at the time, or to just bully noobs that had no idea what they were doing. And can you just like present yourself a little bit, like what's your history as a gamer, what type of games do you play, and all that?
Okay, yeah, sure. So Skip to My Nash, 31 years old, from Paris. Very important.
Very important. Why is it very important? Because I'm French.
We like to represent our city, our country, even our neighborhood or whatever, but that will suffice for now. So French gamer. Always played games since like 2001, I think, since I got the PS2.
So you were like 9 years old, something like that?
No, more like 10, I think. 10, 11, around the first class of like middle school or something. Like really spent quite a few times between this and sports. That's where I got my name as well, from basketball. A huge history into basketball, like 13 years of my life.
Ah, so
playing.
you were playing too, because you said that you were a commenter, but I didn't know you were playing also.
Yeah. I was playing. I was playing point guard, but mostly was doing like more like street ball, probably like in the like not really in clubs or like I really wanted like it was more like of serious, but in the streets, more like
Yeah.
playgrounds, like pickup games. I've played a little bit in clubs, but I learned by myself pretty much. So it was pretty hard at 13 years old to, uh, if you don't have a CV, a basketball CV
Mm-hmm.
in France, you don't really take it seriously. So I'm not very tall as well, so it was very hard for me.
You
Like
mean you're not very tall compared to other basket player? Because me, I'm
yeah,
like
exactly.
1 meter 86.
Oh, I'm smaller than that. I'm 1 meter 78, 79. I'm not even
Okay.
so.
So it's
So it was hard to do anything with it, but I tried for a while, and then I mostly like consume like not consume but use basketball as like a redactor journalist for trash talk
yeah,
that AFAR, so which is now probably the biggest fanzine for basketball in France.
crazy.
Yeah. But then after in 2015, 2016, something got lost in the way. I lost the passion for all these sports that I gathered from all these years. And this is where like gaming sort of like made a comeback with BloodBorne.
Ah, with
Some of
Bloodborne. Because
some
you
of my
sorry.
some of my IRL friends were playing it and co-op and didn't know what they're doing. They say, "Oh, you must play this game. You must play this game." And so when the DLC dropped by, it was the 24th of November 2015. I got sucked into it. Like something happened like never before in gaming before, because before that I was just playing like random games like FIFA
Ah, like
most of it.
FIFA, you were one of those. Call of Duty a little
Yeah.
bit.
No FPS games though. But one single player games like God of War, huge God of War fan, Devil May Cry,
Same,
beat
same.
them all games. So single player. So Dark Souls games are not too far from it.
Yep,
The
yep,
aspect
very
of
close.
like challenges and stuff. But I haven't heard of Dark Souls or Souls or Miyazaki or From Software before 2015, the end of 2015. So this is how I get into the series. And then the game that I wanted the most out of, even more than Elden Ring, probably, was Dark Souls 3. And this is where the thing began.
Can you a bit
Mm.
elaborate on why? Do you think you can understand why Bloodborne grabbed you so much? Like what was it
E-
first, and what did the? For example, I guess it could be like, oh, you love the monsters or whatever. But then you're known as a PvP player, so did you also play PvP in Bloodborne? That's what made you play the game for a long time, or
Mm,
not really?
not not really in Bloodborne. I just played with my IRL friends. Did a couple duels and then dropped my like ring the bell at Mergoloft, whatever the name was there, or Nightmare Frontier. But it wasn't very enjoyable like Bloodborne PvP. I mean, you receive Scorch Knight, but no offense, but the PvP in this game was pretty much non-existent. I know some of the PvP players; they're very great, but I really didn't like find any sort of like enjoyment in this, so I didn't go very far. It's the second least of the Souls game that I've PvP in. I think the least was Dark Souls 2. I came very late.
Yeah,
I just
I
did the
really don't.
PvE
I
and
really don't like Dark Souls 2.
but
Scorch will be
but
the first one to say that the game has flaws. Like he's not like a
mhm.
fanatic. And now he plays Elden Ring, so he probably doesn't care.
Okay. But no, it's for more than flaws like the gunfights or spamming. I mean, we can. I didn't really get into it like ever. Like I just did it because it looked cool
Mm-hmm.
and the concept was cool. But PvP wasn't a thing that far because the PvE was so great. And to answer the questions like why Bloodborne is like, I'm a very movie guy. I'm a huge movie guy. Cinema, I studied cinema as well.
Ah, you studied it. Okay.
It's a little bit, yeah, but it was like a more of a passion for the since I'm a kid, so I watch any type of movies in different languages, like everything, present, past. So, and the imagination, the world that they were depicting in this game was just breathtaking.
True.
Like it was you were in a nightmare, the deepest nightmare that you don't know why you're there, you don't know what you're doing there, you don't know if it's real, you don't know, like it was. And the movement, the aggressiveness of the boss fights, especially in Bloodborne, plus the music, I don't know, something special happened there.
Yeah.
So
It's a total experience for sure.
yeah, and I think even if I played Elden Ring and it's very high now on my best games of all time, but I think I still prefer Bloodborne. But
Yeah, something was really special about Bloodborne, that's for sure.
yeah, it was not like super long in contrast with Elden Ring. It was very well fast paced, very precise, concise. Everything made sense. Like it's just the perfect thing. Like amazing. So after that, yeah, came Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, you said it was the game
And
that you were mostly excited about. Why is that?
yes, because with my friends, since we got into the Bloodborne thing, we all got the virus, so to speak.
Ah, the coronavirus
And then
back in 2015 already.
yeah, the Miyazaki virus or whatever you call it. And then we were exciting for more. And for more, like Dark Souls 3 was around the corner in April 2016. And so, and we're not even talking about PvP, or we're talking about PvE.
Yeah.
And I played the PvE this time like full alone, because my friend helped, and they made the mistake to kind of, I didn't know what I was doing. So in Bloodborne, we got a little co-op on my first run, so they kind of
Carried you?
fucked me a little bit with my pleasure, a little bit.
True.
So Dark
Yeah,
Souls
yeah,
3,
yeah.
I said, because I was a newbie, so, and in Dark Souls 3, I said, no, I'm gonna do the game by myself. So I got destroyed by Sullivan, I don't know how many times. When I beat him, like everything came more simply, more naturally to me. And so, yeah, I got into the game. And after Sullivan, what is this? Oh, there's a few signs in the ground. What is this? Summon. Okay, there's a fight, 1v1, no. And then it started right there with my friends, my other friends. And when I got the need for more, my friends didn't want to push over. So I was on my own, pretty much. And I learned everything by myself. And I found new players. It helped me improve my English a lot, because now most of my day I speak English.
Yeah, you
more
speak
than
very
French. Oh, thank you. Like I love a lot of flaws, still a lot of things to learn, but it definitely the connections I had in this game, the people I met. There's so many it helped me improve my English, first of all, and then I discovered how gaming works nowadays with Discord, with Twitch, and then yeah, after May 2016, I discovered Twitch, and yeah, I spend most of my if I don't watch a movie, I watch Twitch. I don't watch or shit, not even YouTube. Like it's mostly live interactions. There's something special about it. So.
Oh, definitely. So,
yeah.
So your first experience was like a PvE guy, just enjoying maybe the atmosphere, the feel of the how the story is told, or maybe how the story is not told, and that's mysterious that it creates, where you're feeling like you're part of a really living world that can live without you really being there. I think that's really the strength of the world that Miyazaki is creating. Exactly. I do understand why you would get so absorbed into these games, because it's also the same for me. I mean, we're not here to talk about me, but I do relate a lot to everything you're talking about. But yeah, so you were a PvE guy, having fun, liking maybe the armor and maybe the anime aspect of the game. There's like stylish animation and stuff like that, because that's what attracts me. For example, was like the weapons. Like I was in love with the exiled. Was it the exiled great sword? you know.
Yep.
First time I saw that, I was like, wow, that's what made me start Dark Souls
Great
3, to be
weapon, by
honest.
the way.
Yeah.
On quality, great weapon.
And then you ended up summoning a random guy. You started to duel, and then it started from then, because we talked a little bit on your Twitch, but you did won a couple of tournaments. You also exposed the wait, how do I call him? Fuck, it doesn't work anymore.
Who do I expose?
You exposed the traitor G9, but it's not traitor the word I'm looking for. But that's okay. Never mind. Like it was a joke, but it's not funny, so I'll just cut it out. But yeah, you've been playing around the best players with Gabri, with G9, and all these guys. So what do you think made you love so much the PvP Dark Souls games? And the reason why I'm asking that is that because the main public and many of the casuals are discarding the PvP Souls game as not serious and not competitive. That word I think is not really the word they're looking for, but that's what's being used, and saying that it's silly, it's just dumb, there is no skill gap. But if you and I are there and still playing these games, because we do find values in these games and we do find room for improvement. Like, why didn't you switch, for example, if you loved the PvP aspect of the game so much, why didn't you switch to a real fighting game, like quote unquote real, like Mortal Kombat or whatever?
The answer will be very simple, because I'm an idiot. I love those games too much. I should have.
Really?
And that's what I explained recently on my streams. It's like for the next 10 years, that's what I'm aiming for. I want to really be competitive into some ways. I'm going to explain why. To find like a really good fighting game that has really great skill in it, to be able to master that. Because I have also like a license in coaching, in professional coaching, and that's why my end goal will be to coach, to be on a team, or to create a coaching, like a team that gets for fighting game players mostly, and be able to coach those athletes, those esports athletes.
Okay.
So, but to get into this, I think I have a value that is legitimacy. So it's very important to me. So I don't speak about things that I mean, a little bit like everyone, but I hate that. It's like if I want to express myself on a topic, I really prefer to know what I'm talking about and be there, So
Of course.
My entry card into this sphere that is like the fighting game community would be to show that I have some moves and I can do that I can win as well, I can win some things as well over there. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but this is something that I want to try and I want to do later on. But for now, there's no like a real fighting game that's really a new IP. I mean, not a legacy game like Tekken. Like, I really love Tekken, for instance, watching like the competitive scene, what they're doing, learning a few tricks, but I don't really play. I don't want to commit yet to something. I want to do it in a new IP. For instance, the new Riot Games, the new game from Riot Games, like Project L, for instance. If the game's appealing to me, I'll give some really quality time into this and try to get like super good in it.
Is it the fighting game they're gonna do? I didn't know that they were gonna do a new
Project
game.
L, yeah. It's they're gonna use like the character from League of Legends. So they have already the backstory, the lore, like super deep, and they're gonna make a fighting game with those characters, and they're like already like 150 or 160 characters. So the game's gonna be free to play, and you know how the marketing goes, like skins, whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. Yeah,
it's gonna be huge from Riot Games, so you can.
So the question is still is
why Souls games PvP?
Yeah, why Souls games PvP? But the place where I would like that to go is this question of are the Dark Souls game really silly and like the Souls game, let's say the FromSoft game, in PvP aspect, just very silly, and there is no value into being good at it, because someone will always come up with a silly thing that will negate all the hard work that someone can put it? Or is it just a question of money? Is it because the scene is not very big, so that those games are not taken seriously?
Oh no.
Because I do believe there is
Yes,
there is a lot of skills that people are developing when playing these games. I mean, between a good and a bad player, like the difference is immense. If we talk about Dark Souls 3, because Elden Ring, of course, right now it's super silly, like many things needs to be balanced. But what's your take on that?
I think it's less huge. The gap is less huge than than people may think. I think. I think anyone. I mean, if I did it, and when I say did it, is like if we're doing this interview today, it's not really too far-fetched or too too complicated at the end. Like the road to get good at Souls PvP, it's not that hard, in my opinion. It's actually quite simple. It depends on the time you have to play, the passion for the game at first. Because first of all, I play those games for the PvE. Even though my channel or everything that I'm gonna do is like PvP centered, but it's really the scenery, the ability to control your character the way you can in those games. That's really appealing to me. So the hours that I'm gonna put in those games, doing my thing, which is like dueling most of the time. I can do some invasions here and there, but dueling all the time is because I like it. So I don't when I boot up my stream or when I ask like a good player, which is a friend, most of the time, for a session, it's not like a serious endeavor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a good time that I'm gonna have. I'm not preparing like you do for parkour or doing push-ups or whatever. Or anything like an athlete will do, like way far from that. It's all came down to the pleasure you have doing those things.
So,
and
go ahead.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty very basic and simple. When I say basic, it's on the positive side. It's like,
of course,
well, when you understood the mechanic of the game, and there are not many, there's not too many of them, or even if there are many, if some people say,
so what are the mechanics? Can you give some details about what are the main fundamentals that are defining, that are the quality that you need to develop to be better at the game?
Okay, I mean, it's pretty like similar to every Souls games. All the old Souls game that I play, I think I was decent at it at best. Dark Souls 1, I played Dark Souls 1 quite a lot for 200 hours, 300 hours or something, with some friends that teach me the ropes. And when I say the ropes, it's like pretty much like in this game, like avoiding to get backstabs, playing around backstab, explaining poise, that's number, that's a bunch of number that you have to count. When you get hit by an attack, it does 20 poise damage. So you have 80 less 20, it's 60, and then if you hit 0, your poise reset, you get staggered. So you have to pay attention to that. For me, it's worked really in a simple way, and I don't stress too much about. I don't think there is too much tech or too much. I never use that word when I play Souls game. I never use tech. I never use depth. It's really simple and enjoyable for me. So, and all my playstyle is centered around like fast-paced, being aggressive, know when to be patient at times, looking for whiff punish, and just go in your face and see if you crumble. Do you respect my aggression? Can I go in? And sometimes I make mistakes just like everyone else, but usually when you try to impose your pace and how you want to play, it's very go into your advantage. So for the mechanics, there's not too much about them. I think it's like spacing, positioning, whiff punishing, what
knowledge
else
about the
there is.
game, like what?
Making a good build, knowing the attacks of every weapon, but
Yeah,
you get that from experience. You
true.
get that automatically when you play the game quite a lot. So your muscle, you let your muscle memory do its thing. Sometimes your muscle memory betrays you, especially when you try to roll, because rolling and get your defense right is very key. So you need to roll precisely. The main mechanic in Souls games is rolling. So if you know how to roll in time, which is called reaction rolling, you'll be very good at the game.
Except when you
And
fight
most of the
Castle in the Sky with the sleeping sword, there is no way
there's
you're
nothing
gonna
you
roll
can do.
that.
Don't worry. You're gonna get hit, but that's the main Elden Ring issue. But in every Souls game, especially in Dark Souls 3, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. You get a 2-hit combo, and then after that, you get pressured. How do you get out of that? Limit the risk. You have to roll in time and go into a position where you're safe and try to attack and get some hits in and see if you can pressure your opponent at a different time. And that's it. That's the music of Dark Souls 3. If you
Beautiful.
understand its few notes, you be good. After that, it's just repetition, fighting good players or better players than you, and everyone should be set. And it's exactly the same that's gonna happen in Elden Ring. Be aware of what's good, what's not good. What is your setup compared to? Is your setup good or compared to the meta or like things like this? You have to be aware of what's in the game, and then play around the mechanics. And their mechanics usually are not too hard to understand. Everyone can do it.
Yeah, beautiful,
Everyone.
beautiful. So you mentioned something on your stream was that you were in a bad place with Dark Souls 3 at some point. So between
Yes.
the launch of Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, did you just not play any games? Did you keep playing Dark Souls 3? Or like, what did you do in these
Precisely,
downtime?
there is moments, but usually, like even like in my life, like gaming came into cycles. There was
Same,
time
yeah.
where I was like not playing at all for 1 or 2 years, not even watching content. Now it's different with Twitch, because even though if you're not playing, you're eating like video games as well. You see different players or people play games like casually or competitively. I like to watch like the competitive scene for Mortal Kombat or Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main stuff. Or speedrunning for Souls games as well.
Really?
Distortion 2, yeah. I was thinking about getting into it, or still thinking about it if I want to, but yeah, it's a content that I enjoy to watch.
So you
Speedrunning
were
is
not playing
great.
too much, right, during 2017 to 2022?
For Dark Souls 3, you mean, or in general? For
Any
Dark Souls
game.
3, I had my moments. I always stayed some kind of active. I think 2018 was the year where I was the less active for Dark Souls 3 and in gaming in general, because when you play Souls game, after that, it's tough to play over games.
Hey, it's weird,
That's
huh?
true. They grab you, they trapped you, like we said, like that's what BloodBorne did to me. But yeah, it was like correlated to what was happening in my life, the changes I had to make, because like I explained, like I lost a huge part of a passion, and a passion that was so important to me. So I was like kind of lost in those years.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know
2018,
what to
yeah, you
do.
said?
The end of 2017. It's mainly started at 2016, but the aftermath was a bit later.
Yeah, same, man. I had some
2017 to 2018. So it was mostly like a reflection time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say meditating, because I don't
Of
do
course.
that, but reflection of yourself on what to do now. And yeah, video games helped a lot to process this, to kind of evade your question, your doubts, and be able to transpose you into a universe where you can do over surrealistic things that you cannot be able to do in real life. So it helped me a lot, and so it was my manner. As I was playing like Souls games to kind of give back. And now, since I'm like doing content, and then now that I have the time, that I have the freedom of like the tranquility, like the calm in my mind, in my whole being to do that. Now I can really do it, and I didn't have it when I was playing Dark Souls 3, unfortunately.
Okay,
And after a
beautiful.
while, since you played a lot, since you've done tourneys, you fight the best players, like in the US, the Europe, or that part of the world. After a while, it gets a little bit boring. Get a bit stale, and all the top players at the time had this some kind of a breakdown of like, I don't know what to do. Like I need a break, or
Mm.
so they left.
Ah, they left. Like, who
Uh,
were the best player you faced in Dark Souls 3?
so in Dark Souls 3, there was like the two main. Then I really got me to really high level and teach me everything that I indirectly, but that I faced like a lot and helped me a lot was Close Tripod,
Close
who's
tripod.
probably the most successful in terms of tournament winnings.
Really,
I
I never
haven't
heard
done like
about
a
him.
much because he never talks, and now he's on PC.
Okay.
And he was like you never heard his voice. I never heard his
Ah,
voice.
ouais, okay, it's a
So
super secret dude.
So
Maybe
yeah,
it's a
but it was
computer.
like a sword and board player, and the other guy was B-Dubs.
B-Dubs also. Ah, you would
B-Dubs.
say B-Dub was really one of the best. I've always wondered
Yes,
how
yes,
good he
yes.
was for real.
B-Dubs. B-Dubs was always like he was using the set I was using, like Hearthstone players. So definitely up there. After that, there were years a bit later. Now you got like on PC Fury and some others, Kaim, who is French as well, very good guy as
Who?
well.
Kaim?
That's the new generation, Kaim.
Oh, putain, those guys I've never heard of. I just know Gabri and
Yeah.
G9.
Whitnake as well, the Russian dude who was in my stream. I fought him the next last week or something. That's the new generation. But for the old time, yeah, probably Close Tripod, B-Dubs, Gabri G9, of course, Painted Phantoms. Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
yeah, that's the five guys that I would put. There's also a lot of guys who are great, but the five names that usually come to my mind are those ones. So I played with them, yeah,
Like
a
every
lot.
day,
Yeah.
except
Yeah,
when you were not
pretty
playing, of
much.
course.
Except when I always like was like sometimes like oh, I'm here, and then for 2 weeks I wasn't there, and then I came by for like a day or two, and I was watching what was going on. Like it wasn't really not like something like on a regular basis after 2018. Then after 2019, I was a bit of PC. I played a little bit, so I had to I had the chance to know like the new generation at the time, to fight like the competition over there on PC, and then I was always on PlayStation after that. So,
Okay,
but I
okay.
wasn't really active. So the very active part was, yeah, pretty much the end of 2016 and the beginning of before the patch, pretty much March 2017.
Hey,
So
what is the
after
patch that you're talking about?
the Dark Souls 3 patch, the last patch there was
Ah, the last patch they
after
did. Yeah, okay, okay.
after they launched
Ring City?
the second DLC.
Yeah.
Yep. So they made an adjustment patch, and then that was it. So after a while, after in May 2017 or something, like had a long break. I bought the PS4 Pro in August, I think. I played a little bit. I did some tournaments here and there, and then it was very inconsistent after this point.
Okay,
So yeah,
let's put the past behind us. Today it's
yeah,
March 2022, and a very beautiful and powerful game came out, Elden Ring. So I'm
yep.
guessing you played it.
Oh yeah,
So what
a
did
lot
you think
really.
about it? Like just from the PVE, like the word in general, the lore, or you're a lore guy. What was your expectation going into the
They
game? Like, give me your overall
they
first
really
impression.
outdone themselves. They're so like this. They have such a big heart at From Software, so they put everything they had in this game. It's gonna be hard for them to top that level of greatness,
Hmm.
because this game is like in terms of like the new like open world mechanics that they offer here. There's so much. Like I've finished the first playthrough in 85 hours, something like that, with almost all the demigods gone, or almost the secret place. I think I missed one secret place actually. They haven't. I've seen it like in few other streams, but I haven't did it myself.
Which
But
one is it? Spoiler alert
I've
for everybody watching.
yeah. It's the palace for the Lord of Blood or something that
Ah,
I
okay,
haven't
okay.
seen. That's the only thing I think that I've
Yeah, it's
missed.
very small, bro. You
I
didn't
have
miss
yet to
much.
beat Michaela because she's kicking my ass. I haven't touched a boss fight for quite a few days, but
Wait, you didn't
I
beat
found
Malenia, but you have
no.
her katana?
Yeah, yeah. That's the perks for being a PvP player, so people can gently drop you stuff.
I'm
But
joking. Yeah,
yeah, the
she's very
game's
difficult.
amazing.
She's difficult.
Game's almost solid 9.5 out of 10 for it's just the climax of everything they've done for the last Destiny, for the last decade Destiny. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, it's
Nice
crazy
French
how
there,
they were
Nash.
able to mix the whole source formula into an open world kind of thing. It was a bit the case with Sekiro to some extent, I would say. And I think
Mm-hmm.
their world have always been kind of open world. You could always like travel from the whole
Yeah.
map. There was no loading time between a zone to the other. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
connected somehow. But this time they made a whole world that doesn't feel empty. It's quite crazy. And what about the lore? Like, are you a lore guy at all, or do you not care about what's going on around you?
Uh, I do, I do. I try to make pieces together, which I mean, in this game, like the first run, I usually like go into for the gameplay,
Yeah,
and I don't stress too much about the lore because it's really impossible to put
it's tough. It's
even a
very,
few
very hard.
pieces like together. Yeah, right. So the gameplay was centered, even though I did a few quest line, but I missed like pretty much a lot, so much. So, but for Bloodborne, for instance, I read the book from Redgrave.
Ah, you read the
Oh
pale
yeah,
blood the pale wait, what is it, the
Pale
pale
Blood
blood
Hunt. Yeah,
hunts? Ah, way. Yeah, I think the lore in Bloodborne was great. Redgrave's work was
yeah.
awesome, and then it disappeared.
He did like an amazing job with this analysis. Was very true, and which like unlike any kind of like speculations or analysis you have to the game. So
Did you
yeah,
watch
I'm
his
kind of a lore guy, but
did you watch his video about Uden, where he talks about Minamata? And
yes,
yeah, that one is
exactly. Yes, it's very well made, right? It's very enlightening work, and yeah. So we kind of say like I'm a lore guy. I like to. I'm not fishing or inspecting for lore in the first place, but I like to I like to watch some content about it and to understand a bit better. So I did with Bloodborne because I like this, but it was very recent though. Like I read the book like not like 3 months ago or something.
okay,
The
okay.
book like the analysis he made.
And so what did you like first about Elden Ring? Was it like the weapons? Was it the magic? Do you see
The
it's
world
very
building.
different from Dark Souls 3, in terms of gameplay?
Mm-hmm.
What
Not so much. Like I said, they put everything that they crafted for 15 years
hmm.
in one place. There is a bit of every of their games in this one. There's a bit of Demon Souls. There's constant references to Demon Souls, to Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 with power stance. You have
True.
you have the Sekiro aspect of it. Like everything makes sense of what they. It's an homage. It's a self homage to what they've done like so far. With Miyazaki as the head director at From Software. So if anyone likes those games, Elden Ring, and if you haven't played any other Souls games and Elden Ring's your first experience, it's gonna be a delight to discover the others and to redo. Because when I played Dark Souls 3, for instance, and BloodBorne, in the same summer, I've played all of them in one go, like Dark Souls 2, I did Scholar for Skin, Dark Souls 1, and so on, so on.
And what was your first impression about the PvP? Like, was it first of all, what was it? Was it like an invasion? You played the network test, right?
Yes. I even paid $30 to play the network test because I wasn't invaded. Yeah, for the code. So I was excited to play it.
You should have got
the first experience was pretty. I want to say an invasion, but I've done like 3 invasions total after 15 hours playing the PvE. So it wasn't really the best time. But after that, like I've waited to get a build done, and 20 days ago, like I started like dueling, and I come across like some feelings that I have when I played the network test, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. A little bit down than I was expecting. Not gonna lie.
What do you mean?
Because I liked the fights what I had in the network test, and the first duels that I had, like everything, and it's the topic of the moment, like everything did so much damage. Yeah, it was very very strange to get into. I was expecting the fight to last longer. It was a different entry into this world's PvP in this game, but so far I like it. I like a lot of people. I'm expecting some tweaking, some balancing around the game, and but the foundation looks very promising.
So going on that tangent. Sorry about that. Going on that tangent about what should be nerfed and all that, we're gonna talk about it in a minute. But first of all, I like to ask you 2 questions. The number 1 question is duel or invasions, and why? Like, which one do you like better, basically?
Is this a real question?
Yeah, it is.
Do you need my answer on this? Duels?
No, I know you like duels better, but I would just like you to tell me why.
Because invasions, and I know people liked this aspect in invasions. A lot of invaders like the chaos into the invasions. In an invasion, I prefer the calm and the precision that you can get into a duel. I like the 1v1 aspect. It's me against my opponent. Who's gonna live? And that's way, in my opinion, way better than fighting true clueless guys that don't know what they're doing, and they're just chasing, and you have to chase them all around the map, and it can be tedious and very annoying to me. Although, like, I'm not against doing some invasions once in a while, but definitely not at meta.
Why not at meta?
Because it's stupid, especially in this game.
What do you mean? Is it because of the one-shot thingy? Because that's
the one-shot, the exploits. Like an invasion is very like you're very at a serious disadvantage no matter what on the concept of being an invader. First of all, I love to be like on an equality base with my opponent, so that's why I like duel more. It's another point good that goes for duels. But even when you go past this concept of like, okay, I like being at a disadvantage, then there is like so much like scummy shit that
Right
when
now,
you
yeah, it's
faced
really
an
bad.
organized gank that you have to come across, and it's really not appealing to me.
Yeah, my
It's
experience so
very
far with Invasion and Duels was, I mean, talking about, it's not to say like, oh, Invasion are better than Duels or Duel is the
oh yeah,
superior
yeah, yeah.
tool. It's just like to talk about it. But
Yes.
at meta level, yeah, it's not fun. Like you dive way too quickly, and especially Bloodhound Step was not too much of a trend when I first started invading at meta level. So I didn't know it existed. So I didn't know it was like a almost must-have tool for invaders to get out of sticky situations.
Yep.
But and you're facing people who don't really know. If you face people who really know what they're doing, and it's a 3v1, no help from any co-invaders, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
they got rid of the PvE, there's no way you're winning. That's why invading lower level, it's much more fun, because most of the people I'm facing don't use exploit. They're just coppers trying to go through the
That's
games,
better.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's more fun this way. But yeah, there is definitely a problem with the tuning of some damage. That will happen. Go to bounce back on this question is like, what it's a bit of how it's called, of a drama, quote unquote drama in the community, is this question of meta level. Some people want to push it to 150 and plus. Some people want to stay the same as Dark Souls 3, 120, 125. What's your take on that?
120, 125, up to we can push it to 130, 135. I think I will be down for it. Past that point, there's no logic behind it, unless you want to use everything, and but it's not a build anymore. It's not an hybrid anymore. It's like it's just a bit stupid, But yeah, 120, 125 seems like some people who have done the math. You can see you can still like max one, not even max one stats, but you can get like a very good damage, or a very nice build at those points, and there's really no reason going far than 130, 135. So either 125, 135 would be okay.
Yeah, and what
Would
we're
be okay
seeing
for me.
also is that, for example, you have a dex build, right? That's what you're maining at the moment.
Yep.
125 dex build with 60 dex, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you have infused your weapon with cold, so you don't even use any that much of that dexterity. Am I right? Or
Yep.
does it still scale with dexterity to some extent when you infuse that
You
cold?
have the dexterity, I think, perks, but you also get, like, for no apparent reasons, like, or maybe there are, but the very cool thing that's called and I'm breaking the game right now. It's like the status effect,
Yeah,
which is like poison, bleed,
sleep,
frost, sleep,
madness.
which are very very convenient, which allows you to not only do physical damage, but also like gives you like status effect damage, which is like synthesized with a bar that fills up very fast
Yeah, it does fill
and
up
fills
very
up
fast.
again very fast once you get hit, or even if you don't get hit. if
That's the
you
problem, I
if you don't
think.
get hit.
If you
Yep.
don't get a hit, you still get hit. Like, what the fuck?
And there's also like an annoying thing, which is like even if you don't get hit, so you get the ghost hit, so your bar fills up, and when the bar hits his final point,
Mm-hmm.
it explodes. And even if you rolled it perfectly, you're stuck into an animation.
Oh, so you don't take damage, but you are staggered. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, you're kind of staggered, and the game like doesn't really understand like oh no, the bar is full, you're staggered, but you don't take damage. No, your character just staggers for, and then if your opponent is close enough to you, well, he gets free damage. And with the sleep effect, well, you get staggered for 2 seconds. You can roll out of it, and your opponent gets like 2 L1s with Sentrina swords,
Yeah, that was the experience of yesterday's
overstance.
stream, right? With the castle in
Exactly.
the
You
sky.
fight them. I think you fight them as well, so you
Yeah,
know
I
what
did.
I'm talking about. You didn't?
I did fight the
You
slinging
did.
sword.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
constant pressure for free, and your opponent like can play like a bull and gets in your face all the time because he knows like every bit of damage you can do like 1200 damage to him, he's gonna do 1800 damage.
Yeah, when he's
Just
gonna put you
because
asleep.
he's gonna put you asleep, and that's GG pretty much.
And
So that's the things there. Then it's really a quick fixing.
so yeah,
Like,
if we're gonna talk about
more
the
than anything.
positive in a bit, but just to elaborate, is there anything else you have in mind that might need tuning that you see in the PvP right now? So now that we're on the topic.
No, I think status effect needs serious tweaking.
Ah, well, that's
Because
the main problem.
I see a lot of people like say, "Oh, poise is the problem." Poise is really not the problem. Poise is actually the best feature that they brought back from Dark Souls 1.
Why do people
mainly
say it's a
into this
problem?
game. I have no clue why they
Ah,
say
okay.
that, because
They don't have any
most of the
arguments. They're just like,
most of the people maybe came out of Dark Souls 3 and there's no poise, there's hyper armor. And there's 2-hit guarantees in Dark Souls 3. There's no more 2 hits in this game because passive poise is a thing. But they probably don't like it. They don't like that people can stack poise and don't get stagger into like a regular straight sword R1.
or a curve
But
sword.
it makes sense to me with the very basic explanation. I mean, you're wearing like a goat armor or dragon armor that was made with like crazy ass materials that are rare, and like a blade forged, like a simple blade, a simple dagger, or a simple straight sword shouldn't be allow you to.
True.
I mean, you won't be. It's normal that you don't break a sweat because you get hit by a human forged weapon. At least for 1 or 2 hits, you can take it. Your armor is like made by elves or something, you know, like
by the giants.
like
the forge
and
of
it
the
was crazy
giants.
to me, yeah, right. In Dark Souls 3, like the handmade dagger can stagger like a full level.
Or
Like
the murky.
why? Yeah, like it's a dagger. Like it's like 10 centimeters long. Like, there's no properties about it, and the other guy's armor is forged by dragon materials or rocks that cannot be found in this world or ever after. Like, so it makes sense that, you know, poise like plays a role, and if you have a heavy armor, you can take some hits.
Yeah, and it's
move
not
around it.
uncounterable too. It's not like, oh, poise, if you don't have poise
Yeah.
and you fight someone with poise, well, maybe you can find ways without being a too poisey boys. You know, maybe there's the equivalent of the, what's the name, the Flynn ring. Maybe you can have this type of builds. Like, there's still so much in the game that we need to explore.
I'm sure some people will play with limited poise, and they can be pretty good at the game as well in Elden Ring. But it's good to, I think, have a fashion, just like in Dark Souls 1, if you really want to go try hard to hit some of the key breakpoints in a game. Like, I think right now it's like 56 or close to 70. If you are in the 60-ish poise, you should be able to tank like most of the fast weapons one-handed at least.
I wanna be able to tank the katana. What's the breakpoint here?
I think, if my memory is correct, I think the two-handed is like 70.
Oh, wait, you know.
And
wow.
The one-handed is like 50 something, I think, 52 or 56. So I think even if the 60s, you should be fine, I think.
Two guys made a video about that.
On the matter, but
Ninja
or Seal,
Ninja Seal and someone else.
Yeah. Arceru, maybe.
Arceru? Okay, I gotta check. Maybe it's maybe they.
Seal, I think, made a few talk about a few breakpoints that are needed. So he made that about ultra great swords, or he tested like heavy attacks as well. But yeah, I think in the 60-ish poise points, you should be, with an armor like covers that. You should be okay.
And
you don't need like 80 or 90, but
And now that we've talked about a little bit the negative of the PvP, like what do you love about the PvP so far? Like what's so refreshing from Dark Souls 3 that you find in Elden Ring? Is it having new weapons? Is it the fact that there is no true combos? Is it the fact that Poise is back? Is it the fact that you can use Malenia's weapon and twirl around like a sexy lady?
I know it's really not about fashion for me. I really don't care about that. So this is not why. For me, this is more about like the fast-paced combat, like the aggressiveness, the nervosity that you can find. That was in Dark Souls 3, and it's right here. That's the main part for me. The weapons, well, the weapons I'm using right now are pretty similar for what I've been using in Souls games.
What
so
were you
mainly
using?
It's like katanas, curved sword, of course, S-stocks, thrusting swords, straight swords.
Ultra Great Sword, your favorites?
No. Yeah, no. I use pretty much all the weapons in Dark Souls 3, but I don't have the time or the experience yet to be able to use everything. I think I prefer to focus on the weapons that I like and focusing on what's meta to be able to counter the most like powerful things. But it usually happens that what I'm using is usually like the most like spears, double spears, or I like power
Double
stancing in
spears
this
is
game.
super strong, man. Like
Super strong.
oh my god! During invasion, dual spears is deleting people with the lance string. Like it's crazy.
Exactly. Like yesterday, I tried Naginata for the first time. Like I was a spear user in Souls 3 as well.
Really? Which one did you use in Dark Souls 3?
All of them, like
Ring Knight?
at the end, like it was the Ring Knight spear. At the very beginning, I liked the Orstein spear, Dragon Slayer spear.
Ah ouais? You were using that for dueling?
Yeah, and one of the spear that was meta before the patch was the Gargoyle Flame spear.
Yeah, that one was nasty.
That was the meta spear back then. Then it lost his speed, lost his damage.
Yeah, the hitbox also was huge.
So after that, I used the fork as well, fork pong plow. Was best damage, but it was after the patch. So yeah, I was using like spears, thrusting swords, curved sword, of course.
You were saying that you used Nagigatana, I think that's the name. And
Naginata.
Did you like it?
The Naginata, the double Naginata, yes. Nagakiba as well for the katanas. Everything power stance in this game, I'm down for it. I like this mechanic. I think they've done it very well in this game, so it's definitely the go-to to play. I refuse to play, and of course how shields are in this game. Like it's very boring, and you don't learn nothing while playing like a stock and shield. So it's definitely more enjoyable when people like fight without a shield, because we don't have a solution for shields yet. Maybe sleep is gonna be the answer. We don't know.
I saw you fighting someone that during your stream he was using a stock and shield, and I think you beat him once, and then you invaded him again. I mean, you duel him again, and then you just left the game, and he sends you a message like, "Oh, did I do anything wrong?" Or you remember that?
No, it wasn't a guy. No. It was a guy who used Bloodhound Step. Who used Bloodhound Step.
Ah, okay.
And he sent me not so much of an hate mail, but he was saying, and I fought him like not yesterday I think, but the day before, and I beat him like 3 times. We met 3 times. I beat him 3 times. He didn't say anything, but he was like annoyed to the fact that for him I was supposed to run into those attacks and not like take my time to organize my move. So he was annoyed by that, and he used like for one fight I think Bloodhound Step and run across the map at first step, you know. So first step is like you can run to the first boss easily by pressing L2. So it was so he got 1 win and he got annoyed by something, and then yeah. I
Ah,
mean,
okay, I thought it was a shield poking guy. But yeah, there are some stuff that you say are a bit too strong at the moment, yeah. Like the shield.
yes, so shield poking is just way too strong. Like barricade shield needs to go, or needs to get nerfed in some way, but maybe it won't be because I mean it's the perk of this of these Ashes of War is like yeah, you activate the blocking shield, so you know it should be able to or reduce the time of the ability to block without losing much stamina because you cannot break it or.
I believe
But
it
if you
will be
face
patched because it also breaks the PvE. Like when I was fighting Malenia, I tried many ways to fight her. I didn't try
okay,
Bloodhound Step, but then I was like, okay, fuck that. Because I'm not. I've always felt like using a shield is quote unquote a coward tactic. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna block so that I don't need to be precise with my roll timings, and it's just going to be the easy mode. But for her, I was like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm putting the shield on. And everything became much, much more simpler. And I did put on barricade shield, so every time there was an attack that I didn't know how to dodge, poof, barricade shield, I just hide behind my shield, my stamina doesn't go down, I'm safe, and then I can attack
okay.
again. So I believe they will do
But
something about it.
is it a good strat against her because she regen health when she hit the shield, right?
No, not
No,
when she hit the
not
shield.
barricade.
Or maybe she does when she hit the shield, but the reason why I'm saying that is because if you did try to fight her, there is like, I would say there are there's two attack. The one that's from the weapon art, the Ash of War, you know, when she's in the air and then she does this bubble of slashes everywhere.
Yeah,
This one
yeah.
is super hard to dodge, so if you block it, yeah, maybe she gets healed a little bit, but it's not that bad. And there's also another one when she in second phase, when she's into the air and she's throwing kind of shadow clones of herself in different directions, and the timing is super tricky because there's like 5 attack and they all have
Oh yeah,
different
yeah.
timings.
I see.
But you can just hide behind the shield and maybe she heals a little bit, but it's better than just dying, you know.
Okay.
So try that next time.
Noted. I'll try it when I fight her. Okay, because I thought like the shield. I was like, okay, if I use the shield for the special attack, like she's gonna heal like a lot of health and all my. Because it's not too hard and up until the point when she does this fucking attack.
Yeah,
And
when she does that, it
pretty
becomes very
annoying.
difficult.
It's pretty annoying to. Because sometimes I was able to dodge it, like I tried to figure out a way, but I mean, it's a tough fight. It's a great fight, but tough fight. But I'll get her, I promise.
No, of course. We won't say that someone dropped you the Malenia's hand. It's okay. I will cut it out of the montage. So those are the things that you love about the PvP, right? The fast pace, the dual wielding.
Yep.
Do you mind fighting? Like, do you mind magic, for example? Like, do you think magic is too strong or whatever, or do you struggle against mages or not at all? Because many
Not
people
really.
complain about magic in general.
No, I think I don't really struggle too much. Usually, like I have a very straightforward like plan. I try to get close as fast as I can. When I get close, I think that's really over. But sometimes I can rush it a little bit too much, depending if I fought a mage yesterday who was using Bloodhound Step on the top, but I think I lost once, and then after that I was able to. I put so much pressure, like sometimes, like especially right now and at the end of DS3, I think I have a really I don't give a damn mentality, so I don't mind like getting into people's face and sometimes do nothing to see their reaction. So I really don't mind fighting casters, even though it's annoying. Nobody likes casters for this reason because they run away, try to cast their spells, and try to evade. That's their plan. I mean, they should do it.
Yeah, they have to do it to win, of course.
Yeah. So, but no, not really. I have no really complaints on the Moonveil or all of these things. The Moonveil hits hard, but it's not unbeatable.
No.
Far from it.
I think Moonveil is it hits a lot harder than it should. That's for sure. The main problem I see is during invasion. Like I've lost a couple of invasion because Moonveil. You know, when you're trying to
Yeah.
deal with two dudes and you have one mage in the back using Moonveil, maybe two of them are using Moonveil, it can get
Mm-hmm.
tricky quite quickly. We're getting close to the end of the podcast. We've been like at it for a bit more than an hour. Thanks again, Nash. Merci beaucoup. Hein? That's super nice of you.
Thanks to you, man.
A couple of questions like what are the main advice you would give to someone so that he can get better? Like if someone just starts to play Elden Ring, he saw that there is PvP, he likes it, but he always gets shit on. You know, what would you suggest? The couple of main, you know, I'm not gonna like a whole guide about how to get better, but just like the main focus, the main thing you should focus on.
First of all, I would say stay passionate. Keep trying. Keep doing what you're doing, no matter if you are on a bad cycle of losses or you feel like it's unfair. I know we had this feeling of like, oh, it's unfair, too much damage. It's not your fault. Yes, dude, it's your fault. If you're
Allez,
not winning, it's your fault. And people have to accept that too in order to get better. And it goes just not in Dark Souls PvP or of
anything in
those,
life, huh?
but it's in life. You have to accept that you're the problem. It's not bad, it's okay, and you have to work on that. So working on the problem is that just working on yourself, and once you do that, you'll accomplish, I think, knocked out all the goals that you have in mind. And yeah, that's the main thing. It's more like a mentality issue than a skill issue, because like we said at the beginning, I mean, as for me, like the mechanics, or they come naturally. If you like the game, you play with good players. But even if you're not, even if you play randomly, like you can be great at fighting random players. If you keep at it, if you recognize like what you're doing wrong, like is it a strategy problem? Is it like a build problem? Most of the time people use like bad builds, like don't level vigor, or the damage output they have is not that great. They
Or
get
power stance in
ad-traded,
greatsword. I don't know.
some things like that. Like there's also, of course, like you're saying, like the matchup problem. I mean, you want to use this crazy good weapon, but looking ass weapon, but it's not good.
Yeah.
You have to, if you want to have better results, you should use a better weapon. And using that better weapon and fighting it, just like for instance the curve sword in DS3, they can teach you a lot about the game. Fighting a great curve sword user or curve sword in general is gonna make you good at rolling, for instance.
True.
You're
So
not
it's more like a
gonna,
general guideline, right? Like work on yourself. Don't look for exterior factor for your failure, but look inside for how to get better.
yeah. I mean, that's the first part. Without touching your controller or of anything, like you have to realize that you're not doing the right things, and it's okay. But you have to work on them. You have to notice what they are, and try to fix them. And luckily for you, in Souls PvP, there's not many of them, so you can work at them pretty fast and pretty well in no time. And
And
after that, when you do that, just repeat. Repetition is key. I'm not gonna teach you that. You do parkour, you know what I'm talking about, or any sports. You have to work on the fundamentals. Like if you're a shooter, do you think like Steph Curry in the NBA? How can you believe like this guy like hits like the most crazy shots every night? I mean,
it's just luck.
in his
It's
day,
just luck.
in his yeah, in a regular day, he probably takes like 1,000 shots. You don't see it. All you see, it's like the 2 hours and 30 minutes when he's playing, and when he scores 38 points on a regular, on what is it called, like 10 out of 15 shots. On 15 shots he makes 10, and that's all you see. But but what you don't see is like this guy is taking like 1,000 shots a day. And that's what everyone should do. And if you put that in perspective for Souls PvP, well, it's more like but then fight. Place your sign and fight for a couple of hours, different setups, and see the results with one weapon or with one build, or switch builds yourself, and see how you do. And with the time will do the magic on itself. You'll learn automatically. Your muscle memory will gather information, and you won't even have to think about it. What you have to stress is like how you aggress this type of weapon, how you roll
Or you
into
don't aggress
against
certain
this setup, or you don't aggress. You have to slow down for this setup. You have to slow down the pace for this player. After a while, you recognize how players play, and you play the players. Some of them likes to be aggressive, some of them likes to be very passive. It's up to you to find the right tempo to win. And it's gonna after a while it's gonna be normal. So, but the first of all, like we said, the most important thing, like we said, focus on accept that you're doing mistakes. It's not the game. It's not stupid Studios Effect or Miyazaki. No, it's not that.
I'm gonna
It's
complain
you.
on Twitter now.
Yeah, that's like the majority of Reddit. So
Yeah, that's what people do. I've never been to Reddit. I don't really understand how it works. It seems like it's a
That's
bunch of
great.
people whining.
Don't go there. Don't never go there.
um,
So yeah, that's
how
pretty much.
are you? Thank you so much, man. I mean, that's something that people need to hear a bit more. And I do agree 100% with you, especially me coming from being a pro athlete, one of the best in the world in my discipline of speedrunning and world chase tag in parkour. Like this complaining mechanic works because you have. It's easy to say that it's because of the game, but when you're
It's so easy, right?
when you're in the real
It's
world,
so easy to complain.
yeah, when you're in the real world and you lose a competition because you don't jump far enough or you don't run fast enough, you're not gonna say, "Oh, this world is bullshit, man. God is such a bad designer, game design." It's like, no, that's you. That's the physique you have. You need to work on it. What did you do or what did you not do? Did you eat well this year? Did you train well this year? Have you,
Exactly.
that's like all the responsibilities are on you to some extent. Of course, there's stuff outside of ourselves that we cannot control, such as COVID. COVID like destroyed the whole season of 2020, almost 2021. But many people that are stuck in the virtual world can have this mentality of it's just because of this or that, or it's lagging, and sometimes it is lagging, but most of the time it is because of ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks.
Blaming, and I would just want to add, like, blaming latency in Souls PvP. It's a bit like very ironic, because if you accept and you are willing to be good at those games, like this thing is a key part of the game.
Of course.
You have to play with it. If you don't like it, you shouldn't play. You shouldn't play like that, because it's not going to be fixed by any means. Like those games are PvE focused. The PvP is just a bonus that you can have. It's a bonus feature that allows players to interact more over than co-op. So it's not like the really main focus. So there's definitely gonna be flaws in that department. So if people are screaming or complaining about that, then yeah, sometimes people are laggy and it's annoying. But I mean, if you play with the right people at some point, nobody is really lagging. It's like really for random occasions, and go look into those discords. There's a lot of ways now to interact with players. Ask for fights as well, as an advice to finish on this. Ask for fights if you know if you heard about a good player or whatever. Just ask him. Just go on Discord or PlayStation, whatever. Just ask for fights.
Yeah, that's why I came to your stream. I was like, man, Nash, I want to try to fight against Nash. Like, he's so good. Like, I'm just even if I'm getting my ass whooped like crazy, and sometimes it's a bit frustrating. It's like, you're learning. It's like, oh, he does that. Oh, then he did that. Oh, that's why I lost it, because of this. And yeah. Definitely. What would be a good place for someone to look for? Because I haven't seen many places on Discord, even in the Elden Ring PvP Discord. There isn't like a
Really?
fight club area, or maybe I'm actually very bad with Discord, but
You mean for a new players to engage with like to find activity in,
yeah.
in Discord or matches?
Where should he go?
Oh, good question. I was expecting like the Elden Ring PvP server from Gabri. I mean, me, I don't have to look too much because I know people from Dark Souls 1. I
Sure.
know people, of course, from Dark Souls 3. So it's easy for me to get like
A group of
those
friends.
those good good players from other games that seems to be as well good in this one. We don't know really who's good or not in Elden Ring. We can imagine like
Well, Castle in the Sky is
how
probably the best player right now, I think, with the double slip sword.
yeah, for
I mean,
instance,
he's
why
good.
not?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm
he's good,
joking
of course.
because of the sword, but the sword's out of the way. It was like really good, like his
Oh, no,
timing,
no, no.
spacing.
Castle was always good at Dark Souls 3, and he has a good understanding of what he's doing and how to play those games. So yeah, there's no surprise. He will be good at this one. So of course, and plus, like the advantage of Souls games like Legacy is like if you're good at one game, one of those games, usually it will translate.
Mm-hmm.
It will do good for you in the Elden Ring. It seems even people from Dark Souls 1 who didn't really like Dark Souls 3, you can see them like Arceru or Seal are
Arceru is from
doing.
Dark Souls 1.
Yes, I
Wow,
think so.
he's
Yep.
really good. Like, I thought he was Dark Souls 3 player.
He might have. I don't know really the guy, but I think he played Dark Souls 1. I think
Okay.
most of his time. So he can definitely translate. That's why I was saying like all this interview long is like its mechanics are not super hard to master.
Mm.
Once you understand them and you play it a little bit, you're passionate about the game, the PvE and the PvP. It comes naturally after. What's differentiate a very good player than a good or an okay player is that the will uh, to perfect everything. That's it.
And
Much.
all right, thank you so much. I think that's gonna be the last question. What's your plans for Elden Ring, for Twitch and YouTube? You know, you've started to Twitch to stream a lot more. Like yesterday, you did what, 7 hour stream? There was
Yep.
like 50 people at some point watching. From someone who never streamed, it's huge actually. You know. For someone who started streaming like a week ago, you started to post YouTube
Months ago.
videos. Same story. You have some very good view. You had like close to 1,000 view, I think, on your State of the Meta video when
I think it's 2K now.
it's
I'm
2K
surprised.
now.
Almost, I think.
And it's like your first video in forever. So what are your plans? Do you plan on taking this whole Twitch thing seriously? Meaning going slowly to the path of making it a career, or you just want to have fun and we'll see what's going on?
I
Yeah.
think the first part that I think every content creator should have is like it's all about fun. Like if you don't have fun, how can you be like how can you share that fun into your streams or into your videos? I
Well, you
think that's
don't,
the
huh?
same for you. If you don't having fun, like how can you sit into your computers and edit like a video for some time? If you don't
Yeah, it
have
takes a lot of
fun,
time.
it's tedious, it's chore, and you don't want to do it. So I think I'm considering like streaming and content creation as a whole as a bonus of what I'm doing right now of my life. I'm not asking too much. I'm not like usually I do that, but now like with the experience I have and the failures and the right things that I've done, I think I focus on the fun part. I don't really look for views or looking at the numbers, or of course I look at them, but not in a way that I need to get like 30 people this stream, or I didn't have like 15 today. It's a bad day. No, I don't. So yeah, like I was saying, like it's the main focus and should be the main focus for content creators. and we'll see where this will lead. I mean, I have time. Like I have a job that doesn't consume too much of my free time. I have quite a free time, so I have time to play. So it would be a shame this time around to not like share it and see if there's value to it. Of course, like everyone, like I would like to after that to play other games, to for me to share my personality. I think that's more than my gameplay or everything else my best feature.
Yep.
And I'll try to express it, to share it with people, with different type of people. For now, it's for Elden. We start with Elden Ring, but like I said earlier as well, one of my goals is to be great at a fighting game. So maybe there's gonna be a time, maybe not, but I'm not gonna go too far on that. But maybe it's gonna be a time when I made a switch, and we'll see. But for now, I'm having fun. The results are amazing. I couldn't ask for more. And we'll see where this all's gonna lead me.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I hope it
If
leads you to a beautiful, beautiful path.
no, thank you so much. I'll do everything in my power to make it as I wanted, to be true to myself, to be true to my viewers, and we'll see where this goes. And if it doesn't work, well, I have my life in order for the rest, so I'll go back playing for me if I see it's not as I want, or the time invested is not, so that's why I don't want to invest too much, like plus I don't really know how to do it, but for YouTube or everything I want to keep it simple, because I don't, I'm gonna do better videos in the future. I hope I'm gonna get better at it, but for now I just want to keep everything simple. Streaming is very simple. It's a very simple form. The act is in itself as a concept is very pure, is very like interaction is like comes naturally, so I want to keep it that way. That's why I like so much about it. And for the games we play,
awesome.
for the
like I've been having a lot of time hanging out in the stream, even not even playing with you guys. I think it was yesterday. I said no, I'm not coming. I'm too scared, and I just watched the thing for like an hour. I think an hour, 2 hours. Just like I was doing, I don't know, editing some videos. I was like cleaning the house a little bit, getting ready for training. And then I was like, I'll hop on and play with these guys.
How's your training, by the way? Like, did you get back? You're going back in full force. Like, I've understood there is some kind of like drawback, like with the whole war situation. But I believe you kept on training and keep improving, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, maybe I won't put it into the podcast because it's.
Oh, okay.
But just to explain you the story quickly, because I've said nothing about me, and since you're asking, my name is Valentin.
We put the mic on the other direction. It's like the movie, the Italian movie. I don't know if you see that. Like the reporter interviewed like. Okay, yeah, Valentin.
So yeah, that's my name. I haven't seen the movie. What's the name of the movie?
I think I have to look at it. I've lost it right now.
I thought you were a huge cinephile. You knew every movie by heart.
I am, but I've seen so much. You see, like I'm lost into the names.
All good. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, my name is Valentin. I'm 30 years old right now, and I'm a pro parkour athlete. That's what I do for a living. It started off as a passion. I grew up in Réunion Island. I'm born in the suburb of Paris. I'm born in Torcy, Lagny-sur-Marne, in the 77 department. And I've never been a big sports guy. I've always been kind of a funny guy. I like to do a lot of skateboard, because then we moved to Réunion Island with my parents. My mom was a CPE, in high school.
Yep.
And so she got a job at Réunion, so we went there. It was awesome to grow up over there. I stayed there until I was 17 years old, and I started to do parkour when I was like 14 for fun. We saw Yamakasi, we saw a bunch of videos with a couple of friends. So
Jamel.
Yeah, the Jamel, le petit Jamel.
Of
Yeah,
course,
exactly.
dude. Of course.
We were
Yeah.
very sad
Okay.
about the Petit Jamel, so we decided to jump everywhere to
To save him.
to save him. Yeah, exactly. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was just for fun. Then we discovered that there was a whole culture around it, that the Yamakasi were not just a movie, it was people were training seriously for it. So I started to take it a bit more seriously, but I've never seen myself making a career out of it. And I didn't know what to study, so I studied art. Like I really like to do like drawings and paintings and stuff like that when I was a teenager. So I decided that if I had to make any jobs, it will be into the euh, la création de formes de manière générale, but just like creating shapes in a general way.
Uh-huh.
And
Comme du graphisme, quoi?
well, like a graphic designer or maybe a
Mhm.
video editor or something like that. Like I didn't want to work in a institution or at a desk or
Okay.
something, which is weird for a graphic designer. But I've always seen myself doing a more active kind of
Cool
lifestyle.
stuff, then. Cool
Um,
stuff. Creating cool stuff.
yeah,
Doing cool stuff.
creating things.
Mhm.
And then I went into art school. Actually, I did pass a couple of exams to get into art school. I ended up in Lyon, l'École des Beaux-Arts de Lyon. And
Oh, yeah.
over there, I also find a couple of friends that were doing parkour. We did the association, and the association started to take off quite a lot. Like we had a lot of demand from people wanting to get classes, so from schools, from people, random people were looking for places to learn parkour. And I've started to think to myself, oh, I'm not too good, but maybe I can make a little bit of money. And since I'm a very minimalistic type of guy, I could just make 600 euros a month, maybe a bit more, and still live fine. I have this very
Okay.
I don't know if you know the book from Pierre Bottero, Le Pacte des Marches-Sombres. Does that ring any bell?
No,
Well,
but minimalist, I understand.
yeah, so very minimalistic playstyle. Like, what's the point of working 40 hours a week when you're gonna spend most of your money paying for stuff that you need for work, or you're not gonna have time to enjoy your life? It's like, yeah, I'd rather live with less things, like no cars or no big furniture, or just having like one mattress to sleep, and that's more than enough. And just having time to travel the world and meet people and just becoming stronger. And I thought that was really cool to coach people and to do parkour. And 2012, two things happened. I'm giving you the full detail, fuck it. I had a big breakup.
Yeah.
So I had a big love breakup. One of my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, and I was very, very sad. And my best friend, whom I started parkour with, committed suicide. So he killed himself, and that was like that really made me rethink my whole purpose. Like, what is very important to me in my life. And clearly going to parties and having a regular job or anything didn't make any sense, actually. Like, nothing make too much sense. Like, have you seen probably did the movie Fight Club?
Of course, yeah.
In Fight Club, like they are fighting, they're realizing how much the feeling, the physical pain, and fighting someone in the street, which is super funny. I'm talking about that. I just got into a fight. I got into a fucking fight.
Really?
3 hours before the stream? Like, I was on my
Really?
Yeah, really. I'm telling you the story very quickly. So I was on my bicycle, and I was on my way. So I helped my girlfriend because she has like she's selling like different things. She's selling like stones, tu sais, des pierres précieuses, and some stuff like that, some jewelry. And she had like a big box that she needed to go to send to the post office. So I came with her. Then I took my bike. I was like, okay, let's go back to training, because I have the world championship in about 2 months, and I haven't trained seriously for the past 2 weeks since I've been very focused on Elden Ring. So I'm like, okay, it's time to take that shit fucking seriously. And let's go back to the grind. So I was like, okay, I'm going to training. I went to the fitness park, the fitness gym. And before that, I went to get some food. Like I went to the boucherie, to the butcher, getting a chicken and some stuff. And I had my mask on. That's such a stupid story. So I go into the butcher and I have my mask on. And since I'm in bicycle, I'm getting out of the butcher and I keep my mask on and I go to the gym. Okay, so I'm doing bicycle with my mask on. So yeah, and you have this fucking guy, and je suis pas du tout un mec qui se bat et tout. I'm pretty cool, but I don't like to be disrespected. That's one thing. And I'm just biking around, being a cool guy, like just doing my own thing. And that fucking guy in bicycle also passed in front of me and says something like, "Oh, you look very dumb with your mask." And I'm like, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, you're wearing your mask and you're biking. You look dumb." And he goes in front of me, and then he cycles in front of me, and I say, "Oh, pedal, like go ahead, go away, like cycle, like vas-y, pedal." And then he keeps talking trash, like he keeps. Like he's like 5-7 meters ahead of me, and he keeps trash talking me like, "Oh, you look so dumb. Use your brain. You don't need a mask on your bicycle. You're a sheep. T'es un mouton." And then I say, "What? You continue to talk to you keep on talking to me this way?" And he's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah. You think I'm scared of you?" And then I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I get super angry, and I write to him. And I say, what now? Je dis, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? "Oh, you think I'm scared of you?" Et là, je lui dis, "Tu devrais avoir peur de moi." And then we both fall off our bicycle. Then we both stand up, and I take my bag off. And then he says, "Oh, I'm black belt in karate." And I said, "I don't give a fuck." And we started to wrestle, and he ends up on the ground, and I'm kind of choking him. And he has his glasses, and he loses his glasses, and he says, "Oh, if you break my glasses, blah." And then I'm starting to recompose myself, and I'm like, "Wait, why am I fighting this dude? Like, what the fuck is going on?" And then I tell him, "Okay, look, I'm gonna let go," because he couldn't do anything. I was on him, and it was a bit sketchy. And he was kind of trying to struggle, but clearly he quote unquote lost. And then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you go, but calm down. Like, this is ridiculous." And then he stands up, and I'm like, "Look, you're making fun of me. Don't expect me to say anything." But coming back to the main point, that physical part, that being physical and that sense of adrenaline and being alive that you feel when you're competing at a sport event, or when you're doing parkour, like jumping, because in parkour sometimes you can die, you do a backflip on concrete, you jump from one roof to the others, you climb, we made like a bunch of videos on the Paris rooftop. I can send you some on Twitter. I'll send it to you. And like, those case scenario, it's like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'm gonna die today." And it's that samurai mentality.
Risky.
But you can also feel that when you're in an intense basketball game. You're pushing the other guy, you're trying to find your way to be able to score, and he's kind of, this is his tactic, and you almost, it gets a bit physical. And those sensations were for me much more important to live for than anything else when that story with my friend and my ex-girlfriend happened. So then I started to train a lot more seriously. When I say a lot more seriously, I mean I started to research into Olympic lifting. I started to see people were doing track and field. I started to research into gymnastic. I started to read more about philosophy in a general sense, and really transform myself. And then I started to coach a little bit, so I finished my degree. J'ai eu mon diplôme des Beaux-Arts, and then I went back to live with my parents in the suburb of Paris. And there I worked at Centre Georges Pompidou. You probably know where it is, in Châtelet. So I worked there part-time. I was like working maybe 15 to 20 hours as a guide. J'étais médiateur culturel. And the rest of the time I was just training all the time. And then I started to do my first big competition. So I did Ninja Warrior. I guess you know the show. So I actually won the first Ninja Warrior ever in France in 2016. And I did also a bunch of other competition. I stopped doing Ninja Warrior because I got into an argument with TF1 because I think they were a terrible organization, the way they were treating people, and c'était des connards en fait.
I can imagine. Okay.
And then I started to do like speed running competition and make not too much money, but enough to survive really, you know, because I was living with my parents, so I was making maybe 10,000 euros a year, you know, maybe sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, combining like competing, sometimes coaching, sometimes working for music videos. For example, we did David Guetta. If you look at David Guetta's latest music video, it's my friend and I, it's the Blacklist. We're doing parkour during the whole clip. Like we do start to have a little bit of a network. It's not like too much money. Like for example, for this job we got paid 700 euros. Sometimes it's more or less depending on the company and the budget that they have. But I just love this life, so that's what I do. Mainly for a living. However, it's gonna come to an end because I'm 30 and I'm not gonna be able to compete at the highest level right now. I'm number 5th at the best speed athlete in the world, but I know maybe I'm gonna be a bit in those ranges for another year or two, but I know somewhere down the road I'll need to find something else to do.
Okay.
So that's basically a bit summary of what I do. And on the side of this, it's a bit like you with the gaming. Like I was playing a little bit of games like that for fun, mainly RPG. And 2016, I had another big breakup from. It's a bit weird. I was supposed to move to Hong Kong. Like I was in love with the girl from Hong Kong, and she broke up with me at the airport. And it was the year that I won Ninja Warrior, so everything was like super messed up in my head at this moment. And
can imagine, yeah.
And then
Jesus, at the airport, huh?
Yeah, and she told me, yeah, you'll never be a great athlete or some shit. Like she was a bit mean.
Okay.
Just to hurt me. Like she's not a bad person.
Okay.
And I ended up proving her wrong. That's number one. And number two, I also, since I was so lost, I bought a PS4 and I didn't have a gaming platform since forever. And I played Dragon Ball. What's the latest game they did? You know the Dragon Ball. There's like
Dragon Fighter Z.
No, not Fighter Z. Just before Xenoverse.
Oh, okay.
I played Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, I think it was. And then I discovered Dark Souls 3, and then I was like, what is this? It's like Zelda, but 100 times better. And then I started to get into PvP and invasions and stuff like that. But I was more into the invader because I was always losing in duels, and I was a bit upset. And invasion, you can rely on the PvE, so it's easier to win.
Yeah,
And I started to play a lot of Dark Souls 3. Then I never did any content creation. 2018, I started to play a bit less Dark Souls 3 and got into Destiny 2 because the game was very stale. You know, the meta didn't change.
Yeah.
And then when Dark Souls 3, when Elden Ring came out, I started to go back to Dark Souls 3 late, the whole 2021, 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That was a quick summary of my whole life in a minute for you.
Man, it's not easy to do,
huh? So going back to the number one question, which was, I am going back to training. I'm still training, even though during the time of Elden Ring, Elden Ring has been out for almost 3 weeks now. So I did play a lot, like 8 hours a day, something like that. I still train a little bit. Like I'm starting to train every day now, and soon I'll go back to the 2 times a day training sessions. But my will to win is not as high as before because I've proven what I've been wanting to prove. I haven't been number 1, but I've done like number 3. With my team, we got the number 1 spot at World Chase Tag at the European Championship. You know World Chase Tag, it's the game of tag. I don't know if you see. C'est le jeu du chat. Ça te dit quelque chose?
Yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah, so
I think I've seen some footage.
Yeah, okay. there is some like a viral clip of the thing, but it's like a real comp. There isn't much money, but it exists, so we trained for that. But I'm not like and also I think my girlfriend has a lot to do with that, in the sense that she's bringing me a lot of balance. So I met Celia about 2 years ago. It's been now.
Mhm.
And she brings a lot of balance into my life in general.
That's great.
Like, I'm just happy
Mhm.
with her, you know. J'ai pas le sentiment d'avoir besoin de montrer au monde que c'est moi le plus fort ou le plus beau
Mhm.
ou
Oui, surtout que tu prépares déjà un peu la suite, quoi, parce que tu as dit tout à
ouais.
l'heure, tu es déjà un peu focus sur l'after de ce que tu veux faire.
Ouais, exactly. I don't know why I switched to French all of a sudden.
Why not?
But
Oh, bah,
yeah,
tu
I'm
feras ce que
sorry.
tu veux au montage, mais.
Ouais. But I'm
Okay.
starting to think a little bit about what comes after the pro athlete career, and I could coach.
Mhm.
That's number one thing. Of course, I could coach with all the
Yep.
things, and I've always coached anyway. But I do like
Yeah.
if there's any way to make this YouTube thing a real deal, like let's go, let's
Mhm.
fucking go, yeah. And I love it. Like that's what you say. Also, I'm having tons of fun, like making my little thumbnail and making my little commentary about some invasion stuff like that. Talking with you, learning about the game. And I do also. There's a lot of in today's world where the digital seems to take so much space, you know. Like you and I were kids from the 90s, so we've seen that transition happening, right? We grew up, internet was not what it is today. Like our phone back in the day, like you were not watching a video on your fucking phone like that, you know.
Oh no. Definitely not.
But I think having a fit in this world as having a platform, so like you with Twitch or with YouTube, like it's definitely a good bet. And if I look back, you know, have always been saying, playing video game is such a waste of time, especially in France, right? Like it's very
Oh yeah.
frowned upon.
It changes now, but
A little bit. Mélenchon a dit
yeah.
que le gaming c'était bien. Did you see that?
Oh no, I haven't seen that, but
Yeah, there's a
probably.
politic guy. He said, "Yeah, French people are very good in gaming. We should invest into gaming." But look at all the people that didn't listen to everyone and who started to upload gaming YouTube videos in 2009 or some shit. You know, now they're not every one of them, of course, but now they're millionaire. Like who would have thought?
It's
You
business now. Oh yeah, who would have thought? Yeah, we started from the what's it called? The Game Boy meme. Oh, go play with your Game Boy, and then now you can see like it's taken very seriously by so much brands, so much like people that it's business now. Like it's really working. Like so. Yeah, who would have thought? Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the story. But yeah, man, when I come to Paris, because I very often come to Paris, let's have a IRL meeting. Where do you live in Paris? Is it inside Paris?
Yeah.
Ah oui.
I live in Paris. Yeah, yep. Around near Montparnasse.
Ah super, dans le 14e.
Yeah, I'm the 14th district boy.
Yeah, every time I come.
So one day.
Every time I go to
Sure.
my friend Leo climbed I have a friend, his name is Leo Urban, and he climbed Montparnasse Tower with a friend of him a few days ago, and they put the Ukrainian flag on the Tour Montparnasse. Have you seen it or not at all?
No, not really.
I didn't hear about it.
No, I haven't heard about it. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
why not?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I have no because all of my friends, like I was very ashamed of playing video games for a long time. I'm starting to assuming it a lot more. But yeah, I have no friend who are really into gaming, so that'll be awesome to meet up one day maybe.
One day we'll
and then we go to Canada to play with G9 and eat some sirop d'érable.
Some poutine.
Some poutine, let's go!
Even if it's controversial to say the name right now, but yeah.
Wait, the name Poutine is controversial? Really? Why?
Yeah, but one day. Bah, Poutine, Vladimir.
Ah, oh my god, okay. Okay. All right, so I think that's a beautiful note to end the podcast on. A quick thing: how can people reach out to you? Like, what's your and what does your name mean? Also, skip to my Nash.
Oh yeah, so for the story, it's a mix of two basketball references. So you have, on the one hand, Skip to My Lou, who has the surname of a very great, most famous streetball legend, which was Rafa Alston. His real name was Rafa Alston. Rafa Alston played for the Rockets. He had a small NBA career, but most of this time was streetballing. So Skip to My Lou, people call him Skip to My Lou for some reason. And one day, one of my friends mixed it up with from what I look like and my playstyle in basketball. So I was a point guard, so he mixed with Steve Nash. So Skip to My Lou plus Steve Nash equals Skip to My Nash. I found it very cool and amusing. And since 2012, I think it became my PSN tag, and I stick with it. So I find it cool.
All right,
I
so
like it.
people can find you on twitch.tv/skip2mynash and
Exactly,
youtube.com.
and YouTube is the same. Skip to My Nash. The difference on YouTube, it's like everything is like not linked. So skip space to link space to space and Nash. And my Twitch is all together.
Because I've
Skip to
tried
My Nash, like all.
I've tried to share.
Yeah.
Like I didn't try. I did share your video in a post. You know, after like on YouTube, when you get 500 subscriber, you can do like a post a little bit like on Twitter or stuff like that, and you can tag people. And I tried to tag you, but I never find you. I try Skip to My Nash all attached. So there might be try to look into your username thingy, see how it's to make it the same as your Twitter.
Yeah, because on YouTube, I think it was recycled from my real profile.
Yeah.
I forget. So no, it's just the difference is like there's a space in between words on my YouTube, so maybe it's weird. But for the rest, everything on Twitter or Twitch there's no space. So Skip to My Nash, all in one word, pretty much.
Okay, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Nash, c'était un immense plaisir. It was a great honor to have you on the PvP Training Podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valentin. Pleasure was mine, like I said.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.